Hey guys, Balkan Architect here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about project logos and why I think they can be extremely beneficial to the projects you're working on. And after that I'm going to be showing you 3 methods that you can use to design the logo for the project you're working on. I got inspired to do this video just by going through the big architect's website and looking at all of their projects, and each project has its own little logo. Now this doesn't only look extremely cool, it also gives their projects sort of a brand. It looks more professional, it looks more serious, and I know brands can seem a bit ominous to architects, but they do give your project sort of a power that's associated with having a brand or a logo or something like that. It makes everything seem just that more serious. If you're working on a school project, having a project logo can make everything seem just that little bit more thought through. It's just that little extra that kind of turns your project up to 11. In an architectural competition, it makes everything seem better. It makes it look like a company that has an image to hold and that has a good logo and a good brand is standing behind that project idea. And if you're working for an investor, it just makes your client see that logo that you have created next to a rendering of the building that's about to be built, next to a apartments for sale sign, and he can already see the dollar signs in his eyes. So now let's see how to design that logo for your project. Now, I know there is an infinite number of ways to go about designing a new logo, but as architects we're always sort of in a hurry, or we're always late. So I have devised this 3-method approach to getting the design of your logo in 20 minutes or less, no matter what kind of a project you're working on. Number 1. Use the facade pattern. So facades are usually the first thing we see on a building, so having an interesting facade is extremely important for your building. So if you're working on a project that has an interesting facade, or facade is something that's important for your project, make sure to show that on your logo.
This is a project that I'm currently doing for a school, and it has quite an interesting facade. That's probably the only interesting thing about it, but don't tell that to my professor. I really hope they don't see it. But okay, anyway, so it has an interesting facade, and if you want to see how I modeled this facade, I already created a tutorial on that, so check out the link in the description. But let's see how to turn this facade into a logo. So it's kind of this facade that has these kind of sweeps running all around these windows, so let's try to turn that into a logo. And I'm going to be doing that inside of Revit just because I prefer to do it like that, but you can do it all in Photoshop or AutoCAD or Adobe Illustrator or whatever program you choose. So for this I'm just going to go here to View, and you have this drafting view option over here. Now that's quite cool. That's basically just like a AutoCAD view where you can just start drawing anything that you want with simple lines. So I'm here just going to go to Annotate and use Detail Align, and let me just create a rectangle, so it will be, let's do 1 by 1, and scale doesn't really matter. So now I'm just going to give it an offset of 0.5 for this and do something like that, and then add some lines over here. So lines like, okay, it has an offset, I forgot about that. So again, detail line, yeah. So you create just one line like that, and then you can use DM for draw mirror to mirror it to the other side, and then do the same thing over here to get to the other side. Okay, so once you have this kind of a window shape, now you need to add some hatching, so, or regions, as they're called for some reason, filled region in Revit, just so we can add some color to it and add some shading. So I'm just going to go here to region, go to solid gray, and I've already created some new regions for this, and then I'm just going to create just like use pick lines, create something like this, go finish, and as you can see, this is now a dark gray, solid gray. And if you want to know how to create this, you just go here to solid black. This is now solid black, and you just go into edit type, duplicate, create new. Let's call it solid pink just for this example. So solid pink, and then if I change this to pink and go OK, OK, this will be now pink, and if we select it, we can see we have solid pink and we have some solid gray, solid black. But for this, I'm just going to use the one I already set up. So this is solid gray, then go again detailed region, pick lines. Okay, so we select this side over here, so this will be gray 4, I think. Yeah, this is the light gray. Then region, pick lines, use this. This will be gray 2, that's the second darkest. Yeah, and this looks quite alright. And let's do one for the middle. So for the middle, I'm just going to go region, rectangle, and create something like this. Do this gray 4, apply, OK. Yeah, and this looks quite alright. So once we have this, I can select all of this, go copy, and then I can copy it to the side, select these two, go copy again, copy it upward, kind of like that. Then maybe select these two, go copy again, copy it here to the side, and just let's do a set of 9 of these. And once we have this, let's mask it out and create a circular logo. So I'm just going to go to region, create a circle just like this, kind of like that, and then just a rectangle to mask everything out. Rectangle, so kind of like that, and let's make this solid black. So do that, finish, and you get this logo design. And this is now the logo that I'm going to use, but actually in the project, and if I just go here into 3D, you can see we have this construction in front of our facade, and I want to have some planting going on over here. And to do that, I'm just going to go into Photoshop and add some planting over there. So I'm just going to go here to drafting view, and let's just snap this or export it, maybe that's even easier. So export, so go down, export image. Let's keep it at 1000 pixels, or maybe even let's do 3000 to make sure that it's nice. Save it at desktop, go save, OK. And once we have this, now we can just minimize, right click, open up with Adobe Photoshop. So open it up, and then you can go here into crop view, make it a bit smaller, so you don't want to have this whole black region, kind of like that. And if we zoom in, it looks a bit nicer right now. So let's go into Google and let's search for some plant silhouettes. Okay, so we get this photo over here that looks alright. So I'm just going to go copy image, open up Photoshop, just go Ctrl V to paste it in and Ctrl T to kind of scale it and place it kind of like that. And while this layer is selected, I'm just going to go here and go to multiply, and you get something that looks like this. So oops. And get something that looks like that, and then you can just play around with this and kind of add that vegetation over here, and there you go. So we have our little logo for our project, and there's this red line going around which I don't like, so I'm just going to go here and add this saturation, vibrance and saturation filter, and that eliminates that. So we have our little facade logo.
Number 2, use the project shape, so the shape of the building, to create your project logo. So shapes are of course extremely important, and if you have an interesting shape, you can use it for your logo. And I'm going to be showing you that on one of my first architectural school projects. This is the model for that project, and as you can see, it has kind of a strange and an interesting shape. It looks like the ground is basically splitting into these two planes. It looks quite interesting, at least that's what I think. And I'm going to be showing you how to use this shape of the building to create your logo.
And I just inserted this into Illustrator just to create it as a digital logo. So I'm just going to use this here line, and let me adjust the line. Let's make it red just so we can see it on this contrasting background, and let's add the weight to something bigger just so we can see it. So do one like this, maybe one like this, maybe one over here, and one to finish it off over here. And then do the same thing over here. So just do, oops, just undo pen and then restart the pen tool. So you start one line over here, one line kind of going upward, one line over here, and one line finishing it. And I'm actually not going to finish it here, I'm just going to finish it a bit underneath, and then I'm going to set that up a bit better. And then let's just do the same thing over here. So oops, again, undo, and let's just do this regular straight line. Okay, so once we have this, I can then select these lines, go into this arrow tool, and then just do this white line tool, and then just maybe set this up a bit better, kind of like that. And then we can now adjust these and make them go into the same point, but as you can see now they're not connected, which is something you want to have. So you just add this like that. So this looks nice right now. Let me just turn off the image and then select all of it, turn it to black. Now this looks alright. Make it even thicker. Let's do 20. Yeah, or even maybe 30, 40. Okay, and just here I'm just going to change it to this type of a line, and maybe spin it to the other side for this, like so. Yeah, maybe even this one, and let's just thin it out a bit. So let's try 30. Yeah, this actually looks quite cool.
And number 3 will be using the project concept. So the first two projects that I've shown you here just for demonstrating how to create logos were not that interesting as far as concepts are. I mean, they were okay, but nothing that I would use for a logo. But for this third project, this is basically some residential building I designed, and the idea behind it, the main concept, is the whole building is just a construction frame, and then whenever somebody buys an apartment, they can design the interior both and the exterior, and then they can build it in a factory, and then just a crane places it in a building. So the variety of these little apartment boxes creates this interesting building pattern. So this is a kind of concept that I would use for a logo. It's something to be advertised for a logo.
So what I'm doing here is just creating kind of a pattern, just a square pattern, and then that will basically represent just the construction of this building that holds all the units in place. And then these three squares inside it will be colored differently. They basically represent the variety of apartments that is created because of this concept, where the actual owner gets to design the exterior of their own apartment unit. And now I'm just going to turn that into a digital form. So I've got these three squares that are going to help me create this, and let's just set a line to black, and then let's just do something like this. So we have this black line going, I want it set up. Okay, how about now? Okay, there you go. So we have this black line over here kind of going like that, and let's change the thickness to maybe 10. Yeah, that looks okay. And then I'm just going to drop it over here, extend it a bit, drop it down here, then rotate it just to have for the vertical ones, place it like so, place it over here, and place it over here, and then just make it smaller. Okay, so once we have this, let's add some squares. So I'm just going to add one over here, then just copy it down and place it over here, and then let's just switch them all to full color, and let's change this one to, I don't know what we had there, some green like so. This, let's turn it into some bluish color, and let's turn this into yellow. kind of like that, and then turn this off. Maybe this should be a bit more blue, so let's go a bit more up, like that, and this one, let's just add it, make it brighter, everything brighter. Of course you don't have to, these are just finesses. Okay, so there we have our new logo.
Okay, so those were my 3 quick ideas on how to generate a project logo quickly. So have you ever designed a project logo, and do you have any other ideas how to create your project logo? Tell me in the comment section below. And I hope you have learned something in this video. I hope you have seen something new. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video, and I will see you tomorrow.